So who in your family is spoiled, never follows the rules, breezes through life with little responsibility and never seems to have to make a decision for themselves? I bet I know what most of your answers would be. That, you'd say, was the youngest, the last one, or the baby. Hello, I'm Ed Gannon, and I'm the youngest of a large family. 10 kids, in fact. So I think I know the answer to that question, but I only know what I know. So I decided to talk to others who are the youngest and find out what life was like for them growing up. As a result, over this series you'll hear some fantastic stories about being the youngest in a large or unique family. You'll hear the highs.
Came back from Japan, I came back and I might have told one or two siblings, get everybody to mum and dad's house and I'll turn up and, you know, this will be really great. And I remember getting out of the car and my feet not touching the ground for, 10 minutes. Everyone just passed me around like this joyous, the baby's home kind of feeling, which was really nice.
And you'll hear the lows.
I know I missed out on a Hush concert and I was very annoyed. Things that I thought I was old enough to go to. There was a Hush concert on at Canberra City Centre, and I remember my two brothers and my sister got tickets and Mum wouldn't let me go. Probably, for very valid reasons, but I was mortified. So I would have been probably, 7 or 8 by then.
And you'll hear the downright bizarre.
So one of my brothers, Mick, went overseas when I was about 3. I think came back when I was 5, and he came back from overseas and I can remember being with Dad at the breakfast table and he's walked past to go to the bathroom, shower and come back out with a towel around him. And I said, Dad, that guy Mick. And he said, yeah, Mick. And I said, yeah, when's he going to his own mum and dad's house? And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, he's been staying in the boys' room for a while now. And he said, mate, that's your brother. And I went, oh, is he? He said, yeah, he's just been overseas. You don't remember him. I thought he was some freeloader just...
And then there are stories of those special sibling relationships.
One night with my brother Paul, who's the next one up from me, we're in mum and dad's car because we must have been allowed to borrow it, and him belting along maybe 120 k's or something, and him saying to me, don't tell mum and dad I went this fast. And I said, yeah, well, don't tell them I'm not really going to the movies. So we had a bit of an understanding.
So now I need to issue a warning. If you are a soon-to-be or a new parent and have come across a podcast called The Baby and are expecting parenting tips, I'd suggest you turn off now. Because if you don't, you'll hear parenting strategies such as this.
And I definitely have very fond memories of my dad, and I'm not sure what age I would have been, probably about 8 or 9. But on the weekend he would, obviously I'm guessing they were entertaining, and prior to guests arriving he'd open up the teak liquor cabinet and he would ask me what liqueur I wanted.
How old were you?
Probably about 8. And I had a very good vocabulary and I knew whether I wanted Benedictine and brandy or a Cointreau, and he would give me a little glass and we'd discuss it and talk about it.
So what was your favourite at 8?
I liked creme de cacao. I never know how you said it with a little bit.
And you'll hear safety tips such as this.
Yeah, we had an old blue Holden station wagon, and generally, probably we all weren't ever in it at the one time, I don't know, but we'd go to the Ormonds like often on a Sunday, or grandma's in Maffra, and we'd all pile in, and little ones over in the dog box. But I used to sit on the floor under mum's feet under the glove box, and I loved it under there because the heater would go under there and I could see the lights in the glove box. It was like really special, but not very safe.
So you're in the front, in the seat
yeah,
of the passenger seat at the front.
Where mum's feet went.
And how far would you drive when you're in there?
So 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes. But for the rest of you, if this sounds like your type of podcast, then you can find more of The Baby wherever you found this episode, and you can also find us on Instagram, Facebook and Threads. Get in touch and tell us what you think. Or if you are the youngest and you'd like to have a chat, then give us a yell. We'll catch you later. The Baby podcast acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which it was recorded and pays respects to elders past, present and emerging, as well as all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Music for this podcast is by Serge Pavkin Music. The Baby podcast takes no responsibility for any legal or personal disputes that may arise from this podcast. The Baby podcast is written and presented by Ed Gannon. This has been a Media Means production.